This video is sponsored by Tarot Stack. Hey there, cozy babes, and welcome back to one of the most cozy autumnal corners of the internet. My name is Chloe Taylor, and today we are going to be looking at all things related to your career, and we're just going to see what's going on. Take a little check-in with that, whether you're employed, unemployed, looking, and not really sure what direction. I feel like if you are needing some guidance on your career, then you are going to get answers to that today. So for pile number 1, we have the card Trust. Pile number 2, we have Dream. Pile number 3, we have Peace. And pile number 4, we have Set Intentions. You can go with one pile, multiple piles, all the piles. Some people like to listen to the entire video and then make a decision after the fact on which resonated the most with them. It's completely up to you. You can't do it wrong. And we are going to get into this starting from pile number 1 right now. All right, pile number 1, if you chose the Trust card here, this is going to be your reading. And before we get fully into it, I do need to give a shout out to today's sponsor, which thank you so much for listening to my ad reads. If you do, it really supports me as well as a great small business. And it literally puts food on my table and helps me to pay my bills. So if you love my content here that I'm able to do for free, this really supports me and you listening. So thank you so much to those of you that do. But Tarot Stack is an online retailer that they help distribute indie tarot decks into your hands. So they work with independent artists to get their decks out distributed. They have some of the best decks. Literally before I ever worked with Tarot Stack, which I'm so grateful that I get to, I was purchasing from them already. So it was like a match made in heaven when they reached out and wanted to work with me. And I feel so honored and so grateful. But ultimately, they are an online tarot distributor where you can get decks that are super high quality, decks you won't find anywhere else because they're made by independent creators. And oftentimes they are like so rare to the point that they'll come with certificates of authenticity. Not all of them, but some of them. I have a few in my collection that are so awesome. And there's also an array of like tarot and oracle decks, and the card stock is always amazing. I've literally never had a deck fall apart on me. They're always high quality, always amazing, and Tarot Stack is such a dream. So check them out. Link is going to be down below. All the decks that we use today in today's reading are going to be from Tarot Stack, which will also be linked in the order that they appear down below. So be sure to snag those for yourself, especially as we're starting to encroach in on the holiday season. You may find that you want to get a gift for someone. But let's go ahead and get into your career reading, pile number 1. So starting out with the card of Trust, we're actually going to get into this one a little bit later. We're going to start by just kind of diving in to your current situation and what's going on. So we'll come back to that card though. So we're going to start with the Divine Feminine Tarot deck here. Which is so pretty. It's got like tiger's eye backing. I feel like I don't use this deck enough and it's really pretty. Okay. Let's see. So currently what's going on? We have the 3 of Swords. Okay, bestie. 3 of Swords. We have the 3 of Wands. Trying to get you a good angle with the lighting so you can really see these cards. 3 of Wands. Ace of Cups. Okay. And the 10 of Pentacles. So bestie, just starting out, we can look at more cards in a second. Just starting out right off the top, what this tells me is like, I feel, number 1, pulling the 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords is the card of heartbreak. You have been going through it. You've been struggling a little bit. And I'm not really 100. Like it could just be struggling in your career, struggling with some kind of heartbreak that's making the career harder. 3s, they're not like bad. It's that 3s are kind of new. They're baby energy. Okay. Not baby like physical babies, but like baby, like they're new, when you're new into the world as a fresh child, you don't know how to do a lot of things, or it can be difficult to move forward because you're not quite as advanced, right? Not yet. And that's not me calling you dumb or saying you're slow or behind in any way, but I feel like there is this experience that might be missing, is what Spirit is saying, because the Three of Wands says that you like want to get out there, you want to try, you want to expand, you want to increase your knowledge, your capability, which let me just tell you right now, if you're doubting your capability, pile number one, you are capable. You have the capability. Like the fact that you're here listening to this already clarifies that you have the capability. Three of Swords, though, coming out first hot is it's heartbreak. It's upset. It's feeling like you didn't get what you wanted, or you're not seeing a certain dream manifest, or you're feeling frustrated. And Three of Wands is you're also being forced to expand in ways right now that maybe you didn't want to. You know, this could have been job loss or feeling like the job hunt is really hard. And Ace of Cups does tell me that I do feel like you're caring for yourself. You're not letting your self-care go on the down by the wayside. Like Ace of Cups is somebody that knows how to fill themselves back up. You might be somebody that's really good at that, or you're friends with people that do. And Ten of Pentacles, I do feel like a lot of this is because you would like to make more financial security with your job, which like not a bad thing to desire. Don't we all? Wanting to secure that bag for yourself. But ultimately, Ten of Pentacles, I don't even feel like, I don't feel like it's necessarily like financial struggle, because the 10 would tell me that there is finances, there is money to be made, there is money to be gained, there is maybe even money that you already have, or like your savings maybe is dwindling a little bit and that's stressful. But ultimately, I don't see that this is like catastrophic right now. It's not like, I think what you need to hear, pile number one, is that you think that things are really, really, really bad and you're spinning your wheels and you're spiraling on it, but actually things are so much better than you realize, because it's hard to see it when you're in it. Truly, like all of us do this. I'm guilty of this myself, right? All of us do this, literally all of us. We all get to points where we think it's too much for us to handle, or it's too scary, or there's too much going wrong and we are complete failures, right? We start to blame everyone, everything, especially ourselves. And I feel like there's something to be reminded here that like the fact that you have time to care for yourself is a blessing. The fact that you have a safety net in some regard, whether it's your own savings, money you've received or put away, or even financial support from people in your life, is huge. And that's not to say that your problems aren't real problems. It's that there's just so much you can build from this place. And your journey right now is one of expansion. So let's keep going. Let's see what we have in terms of oracle cards. So we do have that card. Actually, we'll do that trust card last. Let's look a little bit at some numerology and astrology for you. So we have fire. I love the fire card. The fire card to me is always a symbol of like, it's time to take action and quit playing around, basically. Like it's time to actually put your energy into something and not just like talk about it, but do it. The 4, you're wanting to like fortify, gain stability. I'm getting stability really loudly in your reading for some reason, pile number 1. The 4th house, oh my gosh, literally the 4th house in astrology is the house of stability, home, and family. So there is something about your home coming up here. Like maybe you want to move, live somewhere specific. And then we have card number 11, which is, that might just be like a spiritual number for you. You might see 1111 a lot, or your guides are reminding you that they send you symbols through 1111 a lot. When you see 1111, it's a sacred number and pay attention to it. But with the astrology and numerology cards here, ultimately, I mean, 11 and 4, which if we were going to condense it, which I know typically 11 you don't condense, but if we were going to, that would become 15 and then 6. So, because 5 plus 1 is 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 also corresponds to your routines and what you do in your day-to-day life. And I do feel like you're not somebody that is shy about routines. Like you're willing to have one. This is not laziness. I need to say that too. Your guides are being very loud about that you're not lazy. Please stop saying that to yourself. You're not lazy. Laziness actually isn't even real. Like laziness is something that capitalism made up so that you could like shit on yourself basically for not being a cog in the machine. And laziness is not real. It does not exist. You are burnt out or tired and need to rest, or you have a lot of energy and you need to put that energy into action. Laziness is not real. Literally just calling yourself lazy to me is such a cop out because it just allows other people to shame you when you already feel like you just need more rest, period. So don't let nobody call you lazy, okay? You're not lazy. You're not lazy. There are extenuating circumstances. But sorry, your guides just like really push that message through loud to me. Now I need to like refocus on the cards. But ultimately, this is about like, you're going to find more of that structure and that stability in your routines, in creating like, there's such power in not letting your emotions run your day. And I'm not saying don't feel your feelings. I would never say that. Like I am somebody that in like human design, I'm an emotional responder. I am such a feelings first kind of person. And then I respond afterwards. Like I let myself cry for several days and then I will respond. That's just like how my energy works the best and how I get the most clarity. So I'm never going to be the bitch that tells you not to feel your feelings. Always feel your feelings. But don't let your emotions run your day. Don't at the top of your day be like, oh no, I'm feeling this way, so I can't do blank. I literally have an entire podcast episode where I covered this. It's something about like I might have even called it like stepping out of your lazy era, which like was probably just like clickbait, but because I don't believe in laziness, but it's basically making like different lists for the amount of energy that you have in a day. It's like the last routine video you'll ever need. It's more recent on my channel. But watch that if you haven't, because it will teach you that how to show up with the energy you have and still do the things that push the needle forward while not burning yourself out. Because I feel that ultimately that's what's missing is like fortification. You need to be the person that nobody is coming to unfuck your life for you. You are the only person that's coming to do that. And apologies for my French. Actually, not really. That's how I talk in my day-to-day life. I'm sorry, but only like 3% sorry. But nobody's coming to save you. You are the person that has to, and it sucks. It's a hard truth. It's not an easy one to hold, but no one is coming to save you. You are the person at the end of the day that has to be the person that picks yourself up, creates the routines, puts the structure in place, and not letting your emotions decide what you're going to do every single day is going to be the key to this, is going to be the key to moving forward. Not letting yourself and just replay old conversations and replay how things used to be, or replay, did I make this choice wrong or that choice wrong? It's going to be in saying, you know what? I made the choices that I made. Today is a new opportunity. Today is a new opportunity to change things up. Today is a new opportunity to move forward. And like I said, not saying don't feel your feelings. I literally just spent like 3 days in bed because I was not feeling so great. Emotionally. Sometimes that's necessary. Eventually, though, I think there's also a lot of fear that you hold about doing that, about stopping and letting yourself feel, when that's the only way through an emotional pattern. Is you have to go through it. You can't just keep avoiding it. The more that you try to avoid it, the louder and louder and louder it's going to get until it can't not be heard. And then you're in this like huge pit of despair. So don't let it get to that point. You know, allow yourself to feel what comes up, allow yourself to go through, not to just pretend that you're processing it and dance around it. So ultimately though, your routines, that's going to be how you're going to get back into the swing of finding the right work for you, finding the job that suits you. If you've been looking, if you're wanting to work from home in particular with this fourth house, there is an opportunity there for you. I wouldn't have gotten a double 4, I feel like, if that wasn't the case. And you need to just make sure that your energy feels good. Meaning, If you are in a work environment, whether you work for yourself or someone else, if it depletes your energy every single day, it is not in alignment with you, and it's time to be looking for something else. It's not in alignment for you if your energy feels down. You're not like, I need to say this because I think it's the best way to explain it. Imagine if you had to have open heart surgery, okay? Imagine if you had to have open heart surgery. Would you want to have a doctor operate on you that went to school just for a paycheck, or the doctor that's like obsessed with hearts and obsessed with their patients and so excited to be there and wants you to feel better? Would you not rather have that doctor operating on you? This is the way that you need to approach your career. If it's not bringing you joy, Marie Kondo that shit out. Get rid of it. Like, I know easier said than done, but you don't want to spend the next 5 years in the same place doing the same things. I promise. Marie Kondo that bitch out, move forward, look for something that's going to fulfill you a little bit more. And hopefully we can get some answers on that. But especially with the fire symbol coming out, our fire is our passion, our excitement, our lust for life. Aries is how we charge forth for things. Leo is like our self-expression, and Sagittarius, the other fire sign, is all about like our, I don't want to say magnetism, but it's like our optimism. So if you're not getting that fuel your passions feeling, it's not for you, bestie. And it's time to start making a new base from the ground up. And let's go ahead and see what these oracle cards say. So we do have that trust card for you, which, oh, come on, don't make me be a beauty guru right now. I hate it. There we go. So I hate it when my camera does this. We have the card of trust, which ultimately the universe is asking you to trust a little bit right now. I know that that might feel scary, difficult. Maybe you've trusted before and things didn't work out as you'd hoped, and it's scary. But when you trust in the power of the universe and you surrender, you're going to be led. If you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go next, trust in the power of the universe. Trust that you're going to be led. Then we have fire, which is funny because you got fire twice. This card I feel like looks so washed out on camera. I moved my office around again because it's what my Gemini moon does when I get stressed. I love to move furniture. It makes me feel better. And I feel like there's just too much light in this video right now. But I also am like reading in front of a window, which I don't typically do. But this is the fire card. And I love that you got fire twice in your reading, because this really tells me that your passions are where the truth is going to lie. It's where you're going to have the best time in your career. It's what's going to make your career. And that should be your number one goal, is to follow passion's lead. And I know it's scary if you've never let yourself do it. Read the book, Light is the New Black by Rebecca Campbell. I read that book and it changed my life. It made me like take the big leap in my life to do something different than what I was previously doing. And she just articulates in such beautiful words how to let your passions really lead the way for you. And it's also all about transformation, rebirth, and renewal. Trust that things can be made new. Where you currently are, it is not always going to be this way. And then we have energy, literally intensity, passion, and power. So intensity, passion, power. What lights you up? And if you don't have an answer for that, this is not the time to shame yourself. This is the time where it's time to take inventory, and it's time to rediscover what your passions are. I've been there, bestie. I've, gone through periods of time where I've been a really intense workaholic. I've gone through periods of time where I didn't know what I liked anymore because I'd made my life revolve around my work so intensely that I had to literally be like a little kid and let myself rediscover things that made me happy. I had to try like all different kinds of arts and crafts and doing different things and seeing different things for the better part of like a year and a half, until I figured out, oh yeah, this makes me feel good. Oh yeah, I like this. So if you don't know, it's not a time to shame yourself. It's a time to get excited that now you get to explore. And I would also encourage, if you're struggling with routines of any kind, because we talked about that a little bit, I do have my course Authentically Aligned, which is currently $55 if you use the code that's on my website. It's normally 222, but it will help you redistribute your energy, not redistribute your energy, but like basically do this, like assess where you are and reconnect with where you want to go. And same with, I also have vision board to destiny, which will help too if you feel like you're lacking vision on this. Check my website for that. If that's something that you think you would need right now, I would encourage it for your reading in particular, because I do sense that there are some of you here that feel like you're a little lost. And I feel like both of those are beneficial that would help. Okay, let's go ahead and get you a prompt. So you don't have to journal this. I would encourage you to, if you have one, or like can write it down in your phones and your notes, just to like take some notes for yourself. But ultimately, you can just think about it if you want to. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. I love this. Okay. This one says, what is my main intention for the next 12 months? Wow. Because that's how you're really going to get to the bottom of, am I pushing the needle forward? Because if you don't know what it is that you actually want, number one, vision board to destiny will help you a lot. Not even just with the vision board part, but like discovering through the workbook what you actually desire and not this like surface level crap. If you need help with that, I got the thing for you. Check my website. It's on KhloeNegrete.com. But if you feel called, please share this in the comments with me, what your intention is for the next 12 months. If it's multiple things, if it's a word, if it's, it could be anything. Just please share it in the comments with me. But I'll go first. I'll go first. My main intention for the next 12 months, honestly, is finances, most likely, to put myself in a better position come like 2026. I want to be in the right direction for homeownership. That's like my ultimate intention for the next 12 months. But I would say also like community. I feel like as the South Node crossed my 11th house, which any of you astrology buffs will know what I'm talking about. We're getting a little personal today. The South Node crossed my 11th house. It's almost done. And like I have one more new moon eclipse in that, and then it's done. This was all about like putting my public image and like social media on the back burner. And it's funny too, because I'm feeling like a pull to re-download like all of the social media apps and like get back invested in my community and like be a key component of my community online and like be more active in the Discord, start streaming on Twitch a little bit more, read tarot cards for y'all, like not just here, but like on Twitch and stuff. That's definitely a high priority for me for the next year, is like getting back to my roots of being a community leader, because that's always where my bread and butter has been, no matter what. At the end of the day, Kloee Taylor loves being a community leader, and I just miss it. I miss like talking to y'all more, being in the comments more. And I'm honestly kind of sad that I feel like this happens a lot with creators. And like, I know that I'm not the only one. I've definitely talked about it with other people in the industry multiple times, that sometimes it takes just like a few really negative, crappy people to make a creator never want to look at their comments again, like to just take a step back for their mental health. And I hate that. I don't want it like that. I think most of you, like 95, 96, 97% of you are the kindest, sweetest, most loving people. And it's that like 2 to 3% that just like make that so hard. But no more. We are looking at the 97%. Okay. So yeah, I would say like community and finances for me are definitely my biggest intention career wise is community, to come back and like really build the community out and like have a core community that we show up for each other. And I would say like for my personal life, it's definitely my intention for the next 12 months is to like set myself up for home ownership, because after the experiences I've had over the last few years, I'm done renting. Come hell or high water, I don't care what the housing market's like. I'm done renting, and I'm going to find a way to get into financing a home because, girl, I'm done. I laugh because it sucks. But in any case, now that I have my Gemini moon ass has overshared, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, Tarot Stack, for sponsoring today's video. If you would like more from me, please check out my Patreon. I am also really excited, just if I can keep you here for one more second. On Patreon, I don't know exactly when the shift will happen, but I'm looking to start adding not only more pick a cards than I have been, but trying to get like more vlogs into the Patreon, because it's something that I just like really miss doing. And I do it periodically on the Patreon, but I want to get to a place where like I put out a couple of them a month. Because it's just fun and I like doing it. So if you want some like behind the scenes of a full-time tarot card reader, fully self-employed creator on YouTube, all of that good stuff, how we're going to build this community. I'm also moving soon, so that'll be an interesting turn of events. Lots of stuff happening on that behind the scenes. If you want to see it, come to the Patreon, as well as getting just extra content from me and supporting me as a creator. And I already mentioned my website stuff you can get over there. Oh, I don't know if they'll be out yet. They might be as of today. I am launching some new readings on my website that I've never done before. We're actually going to be doing some private career readings, which I've never offered in the past. And I'm also going to be offering this like archetypes reading, I think, which like is the one I'm excited about both, but like archetypes are such a huge part of my own personal journey with the tarot. And I think it could also be used in a career-based way if that was like your intention. So a couple new readings launching on my website. Definitely check them out if you want to get a personal reading or a birth chart or what have you. And I think that's everything. So thank you so much, pile number one. Good luck out there. You've got this. Follow your passion. And please do not forget, when you stand in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. Bye. Pile number two, if you chose the dream card, this is going to be your reading. And before we get into it, I do just want to give a special shout out to our sponsor and also say thank you so much for listening to my ad reads. They literally put food on my table. They are helping me pay for the move that I am in the middle of. Like, sponsors are so important to YouTube content creators. So please, and thank you. Please listen. And thank you so much if you took the time. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much to Tarot Stack. So if you don't know, Tarot Stack is an online retailer that sells indie tarot decks. They help distribute them, get them out to the public. And I love this because not only do you find like really rare decks on their website, but I have never once gotten a deck that wasn't amazing. The card stock is always amazing. The imagery is always amazing. I always get things in a timely manner. And on top of that, I used to buy from Tarot Stack before I was ever working with them on YouTube. So the fact that we've been able to collaborate on so many videos means the world to me. I already was obsessed. So it's like a really good fit for my channel. And I'm so honored that they continue to work with me. So thank you so much, Tarot Stack. Please check them out. All of the cards that we use today are decks that come from Tarot Stack, and they will all be listed down below in the order that they appear. So if you want to get any of these decks for yourself, especially as the holiday season is coming up, you may want to purchase one for a friend. They have Oracle and Tarot, so really fantastic. And just thank you so much for listening. Let's go ahead and get into your reading. So pile number two, first and foremost, we have the dream card for you, which we will get to a little bit later. I actually want to start with like tarot cards first, and then we'll do your oracle cards and then have a little something extra for you too. So let's go ahead and look at the tarot first, just to kind of see what is going on with you, where you're at career wise. What's the happening? What's the happening, sis? What is going on here? Ooh. Okay. We have the moon, La Luna, the moon. We have the sun. Oh my gosh. We have the King of Cups. We have the Nine of Pentacles. Interesting. Interesting. Bestie, I'm just going to be real with you for a minute. What are you doing here? I feel like career-wise, if you chose the right pile, I wouldn't even say that things are bad. Like, not that they need to be bad, but I would honestly say that you're doing a really great job managing and you're making good money. You're feeling emotionally like fulfilled. The sun and the moon tell me that both your masculine and feminine energy is balanced in the work that you do. Girl, what are you doing here? Bestie, sis, I feel like this is such an overtly positive reading about your career. So this could also be that maybe you're like hoping to get into a career or you want to know if a certain career is right for you. And I need to tell you, if you chose this pile, it is. You are in the right place. You are on the right track. You are headed in for a great career if you've just been applying for something. Because the moon tells me, especially paired with the sun, that there is a great balance here. Your emotional needs are being met. Your physical needs are being met. And like, there's not so much work. Like, I feel like there's a part of you that thinks it's too good to be true. And ultimately, no, like you deserve this opportunity. And maybe you just need to be told that. Like, you deserve this opportunity. This is working out for you. This is a good thing. It is going to make you really great money, no matter if you're employed for yourself or working for someone else. There is really like the Nine of Pentacles is about having enough money to not only meet all of your basic needs, but to have extra, to like enjoy the fruits of your labor. And then the King of Cups, this is like emotional stability. You're not going to be in a hostile work environment. Your boss is probably somebody that's really awesome. If you're your own boss, like you have the right head on your shoulders about this. So I love that. I feel like that's honestly really cut and dry. But let's keep going in terms of the numerology and astrology. We have 22, sextile, Uranus, and 5. Okay, I'm not sure what happened in the past, bestie, but I do think in some regard you've been a little bit scarred in terms of work life. The reason I say that is 5s are usually about contention. Okay, they're usually about contention, at least in the numerology and astrology I study. I don't do like I want to say like Chinese numerology sees 5 as a different number. I do not. I'm not actually sure where my numerology knowledge comes from. Like, I'm also not a numerologist. I just have studied like the most basic principles. That's like not necessarily my forte, but 5s in tarot specifically tend to be more about like contention. They are not comfortable. And Uranus is our planet of upheaval, of quick change, of things. I don't even want to say like not working out, but things like coming to a head that just kind of like, you're like, oh, what the heck? Like that came out of nowhere. Surprises. That's the word I was looking for. So I do feel like there is something that you've gone through that makes you think that where you are, where you're headed is too good to be true. And here's the thing. There is Gay Hendricks in his book, I think it's called The Big Leap, talks about this, where you will self-sabotage if your thermostat is set at a certain point. So hear me out for a second. Let's go with the analogy of a thermostat. If you are comfortable at your thermostat being 72 degrees, and then somebody cranks that up to 85, you're going to be sweating and pissed off, right? You're going to want to go turn that shit down. This is just an analogy. Maybe you love it when your house is 85 and you're like a lizard. Okay. I don't like it when my house is that hot, but do you? No judgment. Just know that I will not be coming over. Also, I'm obviously talking about Fahrenheit. I don't know Celsius. So 85, you're sweating, you got to go crank that dial straight back down. And it's the same way if like somebody turned your dial down to like 45 degrees, you'd be really cold, right? If you're used to your house being 72, 45 sounds awful. You'd be freezing. You'd be walking around your house with a coat on. And ultimately, the idea is that this thermostat is your happiness and what you allow into your life, what feels comfortable for you. And if somebody cranks the dial too far forward or too far down, you will come back and always equalize at the same level of happiness that you're used to, because it's what feels comfortable. It's the comfort zone. And in order to basically change the height of your thermostat without actually changing how uncomfortable you feel all the time, it's like you have to do it a little bit slower and also like process the things that you've been through, because you'll self-sabotage every single time things get better if you don't work through it. And self-sabotage actually is not a bad thing. In the book, The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest, which I also recommend, highly recommend. That book talks about how self-sabotage is actually just a coping mechanism that helps you. You learn to cope and keep yourself safe with a certain coping mechanism that causes self-sabotage. And so every time things feel too uncomfortable, you revert back to that self-sabotage. And it's something that you are able to change. It just you have to go slow. And I do say this because these two cards would indicate to me that there are so many good things about your career right now in the direction that you're headed. But I think you're starting to self-sabotage. You're starting to feel like it's like too much goodness somehow. Sextile also tells me that like, you know what? I need to pull the book. I feel like it's Sextile that is one of the ones that I always, I don't want to say I forget it, but Sextile is the one that I always like mess up. And I feel like sextile is a good thing. It's planets that sit 60 degrees apart from one another, give or take 5 degrees, are called sextile. Sextiles give reciprocal supportive energy to the planets in question. We need to consciously work with the power of our sextiles, calling them to action when we need them to be engaged. Two planets that are sextile one another are stimulated by their relationship and oriented toward taking deliberate action. So it's all about like expanding your horizon and using this to your benefit. So right now you are being given a lot of benefit, and Spirit is saying you need to utilize the benefits that are at your disposal right now. And I also feel like with this moon and sun, this could be like you and your spouse, you and your significant other. You balance each other out extremely well. And I feel like it's almost like you have forgotten how good you have it, if that makes sense. Like you have forgotten how good you have it, and you're throwing like wrenches into the system because you're like, no, it can't be this good. It can't be this good. And I need to we all do this. We are problem solving. Like, I'm not trying to shame you. Please, if you ever feel shame from a reading that I have done, leave my channel. Like, genuinely, do not listen to me. If that creates shame in you, that's the last thing I want for you. But if you're ready to have a frank conversation about it, I'm the person for you. But if you've never seen somebody experience what you have in your life and you're the first generation to experience it, you're going to want to revert to those old coping mechanisms that were shown to you. And Spirit ultimately says you need to pay attention to how good it actually is, how great what you have is. And something that I would recommend to you, which is something I do all the time, and this is not for those of you that are in abusive or toxic situations. This is not your pile if that's you. I would never tell you to stay in a situation that's bad for your mental health. But something that I always do is if there's something that I'm having a hard time with, be it work, taking care of something. I always give the example of a car wash, even though I really love getting my car washed. I don't love washing my own car, but I love going to the car wash. But let's pretend in this scenario that I hate this as a chore. If I hate getting the car washed, I'm going to do everything in my power to make that car wash the most cool experience. I'm going to bring my favorite beverage in the car. I'm going to bring, like, maybe I have a cozy sweater that I only wear to the car wash, or a blanket that I wrap around myself, or a playlist that I play while the car is going through the car wash, or an audiobook, or something that I really, really love, or a podcast. I will like save those things for the car wash. And then when I go through the car wash, I'm like, all of my favorite things are here. This is like the best time to sit and do all of this, because at least where I live, you stay in the car when it goes through the car wash. So doing that, it's like a fun experience. And I let myself do all of that. I'll be like, I've got my Starbies. I've got my little cozy blanket. I've got my 2001 rom-com main character playlist on Spotify. Let's do this car wash, let's get it done. That's the vibe I want you to meet your career with right now. Not every part of your career is going to feel good. And some of you, it's not even just a career. It could be like, maybe you are the homemaker. That is a career. Maybe you're a mom. That is a career of a kind. Like, it's not the terms that we use for career, but like, it is still a job. It is unpaid labor. And you can count that in this reading as well. So like, those things matter, and you contributing to your family is a beautiful thing. And like that is work. Don't let anybody convince you. I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't let anybody convince you that it's not work. It is work. And then 22, I'm feeling 22. I'm not even a Swiftie, but I do like some of her music. Oh my gosh, did I just become a pick-Misha? Did I just go, I'm not like other girls? Because let me tell you, I'm exactly like other girls. I love being a girl's girl. I love being exactly like other girls, but I will say on this one, I don't really consider myself to be a Swiftie. I'm not like a diehard, but I do like 1989, such a slap album. I love it. But 22, that's funny. Pile number 1 got a master number as well. 22 is a master number, which means that we don't condense it. And it's all about like building yourself to mastery. So asking yourself for the foreseeable future, what it is that you want out of life in general is going to help you culminate your next pathway forward. And I also feel like, gosh, I said this to pile number 1 too. I swear I don't say this in every pile, but if you're confused about where you're headed next, please check out either one of my courses or both. They're super reasonably priced, in my opinion, for what they are. I honestly undercharge. One of them is the Vision Board to Destiny, which will lead you through creating a vision board, but the workbook is where the real magic happens. And if you're confused about what next step you want to take in your life, that workbook will get you to the bottom of it. I promise you. Like, there are people that have reviewed that course now as well. Like, go to the comments, talk to people that have bought it. Like, it will get you to know what it is that you want, and you will be able to push that needle forward. And Authentically Aligned, my other course, that one's really more about like, I hate to say the word. Well, I don't hate to say the words. I love the F-bomb, but it like unfucks your life. It helps you to like actually navigate creating routines that work for you, and helps you to like really get an overall understanding of where you are in life and how you're going to move forward and how you're going to take care of yourself to move forward. So I feel like that's like, if you are like Trisha Paytas crying on the kitchen floor, that's the course. But I made both of those because I've been in both of those situations, and I wanted to make something that would help other people out of that. But I feel like if you're trying to build towards mastery, but you're really confused, those would both really help. And it's like more help than I can give you in this reading right now. So just throwing it out there. But I do feel that you're struggling to feel like you have worth or merit in some way, is what Spirit is telling me. And so you keep self-sabotaging so that you can like find your worth or your merit when you were already born inherently worthy. And I don't know when you're going to get that one through your head. It might take some more time, but ultimately, I feel like for you, we need to pull a few more cards. What is the way out of the self-sabotage? We need more guidance than this, Spirit. At least like a couple more cards. Ooh, and there's 2. Okay. 2 of Pentacles, we got to be balancing our life out a little bit more. There's not enough balance going on. Okay, and then we have the 7 of Pentacles, water what waters you, basically. Water what waters you. Water the things in your life that are working out, that do feel good, and make those the number one priorities. Y'all, remember how like 6 months ago, sorry, I still have a cough and I will not be medically insured until January, unfortunately. And I don't feel sick at all, but I've had this cough from hell since like January. A Seven of Pentacles showing up, water what waters you, but also this to me is like, remember how like 6 months ago I was like, I don't have any friends, I hate it here. I started watering the friendships that I do have, and literally my entire life changed. And I actually like met a local friend, and things changed for me after that. This is the same. Water what waters you. If there is an area of your life that is currently watering you, water it back. Like, you have to start making the conscious choice to water the good things you have in your life. And the Two of Pentacles says that it is going to be all about creating balance, asking yourself what areas of your life do not feel like they have an overarching balance. And you're not always going to get it right. When you put a lot of energy towards one thing, it is going to deplete things from other things. Balance is something it's not always meant to just sit there and be perfectly weighed out. Balance is something that goes back and forth all the time. And it's not because you're meant to be stressed out trying to oscillate it all the time. It's that it can be a slow and steady progress. It can be building your life intentionally in a way that serves you and slowly unfurling. Okay, now let's look at these other oracle cards. So we have dream, build castles in the sky. You definitely need to let yourself dream a little bit more. I feel like you often like make yourself get slapped by reality because you think it does something for you, when the people that are out there dreaming as big as they can are the ones accomplishing big things. You are no different from them. You just haven't allowed yourself to dream as much. Rest. Give yourself time to recuperate. So also, there's no shame in resting. I feel like this year of my life is the year that I've really learned that, like over the past 12 months, maybe like 10 months, I've really learned that there is no shame in rest, and like taking a nap is a beautiful thing, and like, why not do it? I used to have such nap shame that I couldn't nap. I would not let myself nap. Now, if I'm tired, I'm going to lay down, take a nap, period. So give yourself the time to recuperate and rest. Rest is something that's necessary. And then we have don't stop. A miracle is around the corner. So whatever you have been working towards, or if you have even like a small inkling of what it is that you desire at this time, Spirit is ultimately saying that you're like 10 feet from gold. You're at a point where if you stopped right now, you'll never know what will happen in the future. And just because you've had a little bit of a backslide doesn't mean you're going to fall into this hole. Like, it's okay. You can pick yourself back up from where you are. And then let's go ahead. I would say pull your notes app out on your phone if you can, or a notebook or a journal. If you don't want to do that, you can just think about it. But I always encourage writing with these because I think it makes it more effective. But do you, boo? Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. What would I tell my 6-year-old self? And if you feel vulnerable enough and you want to share, if you're feeling courageous enough, rather, to be vulnerable, please share in the comments your answer to this. I'll go first. To my 6-year-old self, honestly, nostalgia is a hell of a drug, let me tell you. I feel like my 6-year-old self, I don't remember being like a sad child. My neighbors, in fact, they called me Smiley. That was my nickname. I don't remember being like not optimistic as a child, even though I don't feel like I grew up in the best household. There was a lot that was not okay. I don't remember ever being like so fraught as a kid. I actually feel like I had a pretty optimistic outlook, was a pretty happy little kid. And I feel like if I could tell that 6-year-old version of myself anything, it would honestly be to like, it sounds corny, but like it would be to keep dreaming, to keep letting myself dream the big dreams. and to keep letting myself like, because I will get there. And I think like I already knew that. That's, I think, trope of a Sagittarius rising. We believe in ourselves so much. All fire risings, I feel like, have such a semblance of self-belief. Even if sometimes we don't feel it, that's like us at our lowest, is when we don't feel like we believe in ourselves. Give it to a fire rising. They all believe in themselves. But I feel like that's what I would ultimately tell my 6-year-old self, is like, don't ever stop dreaming big. Like, please dream as big as you want to. I think at 6 years old, I wanted to be an astronaut. Like, that was one of like my first big careers. I wanted to go to space. Now I think about space and that sounds fucking terrifying. I have no desire to leave the planet or go to space. No, thank you. Sounds awful. That's like, to me, like when somebody says go to hell, I would rather, like, to me, go to space is like such a higher insult, because outer darkness forever. No, thank you. Like, at least in hell, we can hang out with Baphomet and shit, right? Or like other people that are in hell. If hell even exists. But you know, like outer darkness, I don't know what's out there. Science would lead me to believe that we just be floating around there, not doing much. It's like purgatory. Hell no. Space, way scarier. So I challenge you, tell people to go to space instead of go to hell. New insult. Anyways, I think that's what I would tell my 6-year-old self. What would you tell your 6-year-old self? And thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check out my website for those courses. I have some new readings up for sale that I've never done. If you want a private career reading, that's something that I'm offering right now that I've never offered before. So check out my website. I do birth charts as well. I'm not exactly sure what the stock is going to be today, but I don't know if I'm doing like a full restock, so everything might be in stock, but I know I'm doing some kind of restock this week today. So definitely check that out. Especially for the new readings and my courses. Thank you so much to Tarot Stack. Be sure to check out their website for more decks if you liked any of these and want to get some. And my Patreon, please check out my Patreon. It supports me as a creator. I am adding more vlogs to the Patreon, more pick-a-cards. It's just like behind the scenes content and then extra pick-a-cards, extra content. So be sure to check that out. Supports me as a creator, gets you some extra content, especially if you want to know like how it is to be a full-time creator, a full-time YouTube creator and like tarot card reader, and you want behind the scenes, that's where you're going to get it. So definitely check that out. And follow me everywhere. I'm at Kloee Taylor, Instagram, Threads. I recently opened my TikTok again for the first time in like a year. I'm on there at Kloee Taylor. Twitter, I'm also at Kloee Taylor. I don't know if I'm going to use that platform or not, but I'm Kloee Taylor everywhere, spelled exactly as it is here. So check me out. I'm everywhere. And thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I will talk to you again real soon. Bye. All right, pile number 3. If you chose the Peace card, this is going to be your reading about your career. Now, before we get into it, I do need to give a brief shout out to today's sponsor. Also, I just want to say thank you for listening to my ad reads. It really means a lot to me. It means a lot to the brand that we work with. Like, literally, sponsorships are what put food on my table. It's helping me to move right now as I'm in the middle of a move. If I did not have sponsorships, I would not be able to do what I do. So thank you so much for listening to my ad reads, and I just really appreciate it. And I appreciate Tarot Stack. So Tarot Stack, if you're unaware, is an online retail distributor that helps to get indie tarot decks into your hands. I literally bought decks from them before I have ever worked with them. So they were like such a great brand integration for me. I love all of the decks that I've ever received. They're always high quality, beautiful imagery, and they come from indie people. So sometimes you'll get decks that have like authenticity cards because there's only a few of them that have been printed. Not all of their decks, but there definitely are some. And they do tarot and oracle, and every deck that you see today in this reading is from Tarot Stack. So thank you so much to them for supporting us, being such long-term supporters of this channel. We love you, Tarot Stack. So if you're looking for a deck, especially as the holiday season is approaching, definitely give them a check out. All of the decks that we use today will be linked down below for you in the order that they appear. Let's go ahead and get into it, pile number 3. So we will come back to your oracle cards in a little bit. We're going to start with tarot. So let's go ahead and see what's going on in your life right now. What is going on? Page of Wands. Okay. Page of Wands, Six of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, Death. Ooh. Okay. All right. Bearing this in mind, what the current situation is. Let me just space these out a little bit so we can see them nice like. Okay, what I believe that the current situation is here that I'm getting from Spirit is that number one, Page of Wands, you're definitely, honestly, are you moving too right now? You are in the middle of a little bit of an upheaval of your life. It seems like there's a pattern in your life that is trying to repeat itself because there is a lesson to be gained here. And I know this is probably not what you want to hear, but Page of Wands tells me that you're honestly at a place right now where you're growing up. Like, and I don't mean that in like, I am the last person that's going to be like, grow up. You know, I'm a Sag rising. I'm going to be a child forever. But when I say grow up, I mean like mature, I suppose. You're starting to mature in a certain way in your life right now where Page of Wands energy just isn't going to do it anymore. It's not going to cut it. Things that feel risky are not going to work for you. Things that feel unstable are not going to work for you. And I think that's because you've dealt with a lot of this in your life with the Six of Cups. You've had a repeating panel. Dang, Mercury is not even in Gatorade right now. You've dealt with a pattern of this, of destabilization. And I think you're finally at this point where no longer. Not anymore. And Knight of Pentacles tells me that you are moving forward in a way in your life that's actually going to get better results. The Death card tells me that you are going through a transformation. I honestly feel like, I know this is a career reading, but this could be in your career, but Spirit is also telling me that this could just be in life in general. You're going through a massive transformation right now. And it's not even that you're in the beginning stages, like you are quite a ways through this already. But notice how the past isn't affecting you as much as it used to. I just want you to take a moment in this reading and ask yourself, with what you're going through right now, if this feels like a repeating pattern from the past, are you handling it better than a past version of you would have handled it? How are you handling it? Because ultimately, that's number one, is you're being shown how much more mature you are, how you are capable of handling this, and how you are planning. Like, if this hadn't happened, you going through this evolution right now wasn't happening, you wouldn't be setting yourself up for success. The things that you have asked for are still on their way to you. The things that you've prayed for or manifested or put on your vision board, those things are on their way to you right now. It is inevitable. They will reach you. However, right now it might seem like they are the farthest things from you. And it's because you have to start from a baseline of things being built on top of a rock. You can't be building your life on top of sand and expect that things are going to go well. You're going to be constantly trying to dig yourself out of a sinking hole. And I know it sucks right now. I'm really getting the vibes that things are not super peachy keen right now. It sucks right now. But rest assured that you have a collected mind about this, and this transition is for your benefit. It is something that is going to lead to more peace ultimately. Let's go ahead and see what astrology cards we have for you. So we have Cardinal. Love that. Be bold, make the first move, bestie. Oh my gosh. Do not make me be a beauty guru right now. Okay. Now I'm like holding the card like this. Beauty guru energy. Okay. So we have Cardinal. We have Capricorn. Capricorn is a cardinal sign as well. Love that. So long-term vision. Mercury. Yes, queen. Use that voice of yours. And then we also have 33. Oh my gosh. Every single pile today has gotten a master number. We got 11, 22, and now 33. That's so crazy. So you might actually be 33 years old. Girl, I think this is my pile. I'm 33 years old, and this pile more so than one or two is resonating with me a lot. So we might just be on the same wavelength. Leave me a 33 down below if this is you, even if you're not 33 years old. But ultimately, you're having to do things that you've never done before. This to me really is like a pivotal point of growing up. And so Capricorn is a cardinal sign. Basically, if you don't know cardinal signs in astrology, it's just they are the signs that start the seasons. So Capricorn starts the winter, Aries starts the spring, who starts fall? Libra starts the fall or the autumn time, at least in my hemisphere. And who are we missing? Who's that other one? I feel like people are going to get mad at me for whoever it is that I'm leaving out. Cancer. Oh my God. How could I forget Cancer? My fave. Cancers start the summer. They are like the starters of the season. They are the ones that go first. And being a cardinal sign, the reason I said like, oh, be bold and make the first move is it's like, use your boldness to your advantage right now. Like, for example, in my own life, we're getting a little personal, pile number 3. In my own life right now, there are some things that are stacked against me for moving house right now. And without saying too much, I have to deal with those problems. But instead of letting a potential future landlord like just check my credit and then get denied outright, I send my application in with a cover letter telling my future landlord, this is who I am. This is who my husband is. This is what our cats are like. These are the kinds of people we are. This is what you're going to find on my credit report. Here's how me and my husband are actually managing it. Here's the receipts for how we're making payments on these things. We will love your property. That is how it gets you in the door faster versus looking at all of the odds that are stacked against you. That is taking Capricorn cardinal energy and saying, you know what? Here's my best, most amazing foot forward. I'm going to have multiple opportunities. I'm not going to have to be like, oh no, I hope I find something. I'm going to have multiple people calling me back because like, that is just the energy I'm in right now, is stepping into that big cardinal fire energy. So in terms of a career, this is also how you need to approach it. If you feel like you're stuck in your career or pattern is repeating, maybe you just lost a job and you're really scared right now, you're going through a transformation, things that you can do to set yourself apart, which I'm not saying you need to be like, oh, me, but when we are in, at least in America, can't speak for everywhere else, when we are having like job market issues, layoffs, it's a scary time to go out there and try to make your career. And you need to ask yourself, what could set you apart? Do you send in a cover letter with your application and resume? If you get an interview, I challenge you. I've literally landed jobs this way. Go and write a thank you card to the person that interviewed you and put it in the mail that day that you went on that interview. That will set you apart. That will make people remember you and get your foot in the door, and it will speak volumes of your character and your like personality to make people hire you. Like, what could set you apart in today's day and age? Do those things. Even if it feels like you're going to be a suck up or a kiss ass, like suck up and kiss ass if that's what it takes. Like, I think one of my favorite quotes is, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? Like, period. And I'm not like, obviously that quote can get you into like doing some really devious shit, but like, that's kind of my approach to that, is like, do you want to be right? Or do you want to be rich? Do you want to be right? And like, oh, that makes me a kiss ass and I don't like that. Like, no, go and make your bag. Who cares if you're right or wrong? Like, who cares? Just make your bag, get your job. But ultimately, this is going to land on you having to be a lot more bold and a lot more forward with your energy and a lot more future thinking, because Capricorn is also the ruler of the 10th house, which is the career, which is also your forward looking like ideas, what you are looking forward towards in the future. What kind of goals for the long term are you setting the stage for right now? And Mercury is coming out because you need to use your voice. You can't be out here with Mercury popping off, not using your voice, whether it's in the written way, in an actual speaking way, singing, no matter what it is, your voice is such a huge component to what you will be doing. And something I want to remind you of is when your voice is a huge part of your career, like even what I do right now, my voice is a huge part of my career. When your voice is a huge part of your career, you need to remind yourself on a daily basis that it doesn't matter how you show up or how you do it, that the frequency of your voice is the thing that is going to be the driver forward. You could be somebody that doesn't have the best home, the best car, the best spouse, the best pet, whatever. But your voice and your energy that comes from your frequency and speaking your voice is what is going to attract it all. So like your frequency will be the transfer, especially am I even making sense? Like even with what I do, okay, let's use my career as an example. Doing YouTube readings, sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I can't just do a single pile reading. Like nobody's going to show up for that. And I get really in my head about it. And I'm like, Kloee, no, like your voice is the thing that matters. You could use a potato for a camera and the crappiest microphone and it would not make a difference because your frequency and the things that you say are what actually matter. And that's what people need. That's the hope that they need. That's like the energy that's going forward into the reading. So like use that. Your voice is a really important part of your career. If you're receiving Mercury, you could have prominent Gemini or Virgo placements or like prominent Mercury placements in your chart. So when I say Mercury placements, I mean whatever Mercury rules in your birth chart. And if you're unsure about this stuff, you could always book a birth chart reading with me on my website, KhloeTaylor.com. But if you're unsure, whatever Mercury rules in your chart, look at where that expresses itself. So like my birth chart, I'm a Gemini moon. That's a Mercury sign. And I also have my sun and moon in the 6th house of Virgo, which is another Mercury ruled sign. I'm also an Aries Mercury. So anywhere that Aries shows up in my chart also corresponds back. So like there are so many ways to look at this, but ultimately your voice, whether it's singing, writing, talking, it is a huge component of your career and you need to be taking care of your voice. And like speaking positivity into your voice, speaking over your life positivity, not in a toxic way, not in a spiritual bypassing way, but over your life in a way that like, remember with the things that you say are casting spells over your life. You need to be speaking about your life and with your voice because it is potent. And then 33, this is another master number, 11, 22, and 33. 33, I'm not 110% sure. Like I know 11 and 22 pretty well, but 33 is not one that I see very often, which is really crazy because one of my sisters is a life path 33 and I'm a life path 3. And we always say that we're 333 together. She's the only life path 33 that I know. If y'all ever want a video on life paths, please let me know. That's something that I'm actually like really interested in and it's fun for me. Okay, here we go. 33. Sorry, I was looking in the book. So 33, Christ consciousness, love, unity, spirituality, kindness, visionary. The master number 33 represents Christ consciousness and love in its purest form. Its mission in life is to be a masterful healer and a visionary for all of humanity. As a double 3, the 33 exemplifies the enthusiasm, creativity, and the heartfelt communication of 3, while also tapping into the nurturing spirit of 6. 3 plus 3 is 6. It is in the 33's purpose to lead by example and teach all of humanity the power of unconditional love. So I do feel that for you, that's something that you also need to reconnect to, is that you are love at its core. At your core, you are love. You are here to experience all different kinds of love, and you are here to give and receive love. That is like, I believe that is like the purpose of humanity, is to experience relationships and love. Not just like romantic love, but like love in a general sense too. And reconnect with that, because I think you maybe have gotten a little far removed as things have been a little tumultuous and scary. But I also need you to know that like your plans for the future are solid. Your plans for the future are solid. You are headed in the right direction. And the transformation that's happening for you right now is one that's been a long time in coming. And I think good things are coming ultimately, because you do have that card of peace popping out. The card of peace popping out here means that, like, I think you've been praying for a blessed or peaceful chapter, and Spirit is saying that you're encroaching on that. Like, what is happening in your life right now is happening to get you to this place. We also, though, do have the card of caution, which says keep your guard up. So this doesn't mean that, like, awful things are happening necessarily, but, like, really, really, really trusting your divine guidance right now. Keeping, like, you know what? I'm going to pull the book on this one too. Not because I don't think I can divine it on my own, but I just really feel like there's something that the book wants you to hear. I don't usually do this unless I feel so called to do it, but okay. So this one, caution. Oh, dang, there's no table of contents here. I have to just look for it. Here we go. Caution. Keep your guard up. If life does something that causes a disturbance inside of you, instead of pulling away, let it pass through you like the wind. If you want to be free, you have to learn to stop fighting all the human feelings. Ooh, isn't that the truth? A spider symbolizes mystery, growth, and power, the shadow aspects of yourself or others. You might receive unwanted news or guess. You might bump into someone you feel negative towards. You might get a minor disagreement with a loved one. Keep your guard up. However, do not fear. Whichever unpleasant experience shows up is there to test you and teach you about yourself. Will you be patient enough? Will you be understanding? Will you let your ego get in the way? Treat it as an opportunity to learn about the way you deal with unpleasant situations and to improve it. Breathe through it and deal with it with calmness and maturity. Act from love rather than fear. Do not take that experience personally. You decide whether the situation is positive or negative, depending on which meaning you assign to it in your mind. If something unwanted happens, observe how you deal with the feelings and emotions. Try to keep your heart open and let the negativity pass on. I allow myself to learn through negative experiences and find the positive in everything as I go. So, right now, even if your life feels like it's in a pressure cooker with this death card, it is going to come out peaceful on the other side. And right now, you just need to grow through what you go through. Okay. We also have guidance. You are divinely guided. So you also need to be really staying prayed up right now. If you're a prayer, if you're somebody that lights candles, if you set intentions, if you talk to the universe, whatever it is that you do spiritually, you need to be staying up on that practice, because it is a practice that's going to help you through this transition right now. And it is going to be the number one thing that you need to pay attention to. So just keep that in mind as you move forward. There may be negative circumstances that come up that are out of your control, but it's how you respond to them that are going to define those moments in your life. And let's go ahead and get you a prompt. I encourage you to pull like your phone notebook out on your, like a note on your phone or a journal. If you just want to think about this, it's okay. But I would encourage writing it out if you have the ability right now. Ooh, this one's powerful. They all have been today. Do I have any regrets? Do you have any regrets? And I would also challenge why. I feel like I'll go first. If you feel brave enough, share in the comments. I would love to hear from you, but I'll go first. I, and so many Washingtonians are going to be sad about this, I kind of regret moving here. I kind of regret leaving Utah and moving to Washington. I think it was just really bad timing. And I'm just so tired of feeling destabilized in my life. This is my third move that I'm making in 3 years. This is not what I wanted to do this year. And it sucks right now. It's a hard thing to go through right now. I don't want to say that I regret moving here, because there have been a lot of beautiful things. Like living by the beach is so cool, but I just feel like my life could have been a little bit easier if I had stayed in Utah. If I had stayed there, kept my really cheap rent, I think my life could have been so much easier over the past 3 years. And financially, I could have already been ready to buy a home, like right now, if I had stayed there. The cost of living is so much cheaper. My rent where I lived was such a steal. My husband had such a good job. Like, there were so many good things about living there. And I still don't want to say that I regret it, but I think right now, just because I'm going through a hard time, I feel like I regret it a little bit. But you know what? It's all right. This is where I am today. This is where I am right now. And I have to like move through this situation with grace, as much grace as I can for myself, and make new choices that honor where I'm at in my life. And that's what I will say. Like, as far as regrets, do you have any regrets? If you want to talk about them, share them in the comments. Would love to hear from you. And thank you so much, Tarot Stack, for sponsoring today's video. Y'all, please check out my Patreon if you would like some behind the scenes. I'm doing vlogging where it's like day in the life of a full-time tarot card reader, behind the scenes, Q&As. I also do extra pick of cards. I do a monthly astrology report over there. It's a good time. Definitely come and check out the Patreon if you would like more. And if you would like to book me for a private reading, for the first time ever, I'm offering career readings to help y'all that are struggling with career. And I'm offering a couple of new readings right now. You can also book a birth chart with me if you're curious about that. My courses, I have a couple of them that could also benefit you right now over on my website. So definitely check them out, KhloeTaylor.com. And then follow me around the web. I am at Kloee Taylor everywhere. Threads, Instagram, TikTok. I can't believe I opened the app again, but I'm back on TikTok. Not like all the time, but I at least use the app a little bit now. And same with X. Or X, ew, it's never going to be X. I'm always going to call it Twitter. Over on Twitter, I'm also at Kloee Taylor. So follow me around the web, and thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I will talk to you next time. Bye. All right, pile number 4. If you chose the Set Intentions card, this is going to be your reading. And before we get into it, I just want to say thank you for listening to my ad read. It helps me. It helps the small business that we're working with. And it generally just like, literally these sponsorships put food on my table. They're helping me fund my move right now. Like, just thank you so much for tuning in and for listening to the ad and the sponsor. It's awesome for everyone. So thank you. Thank you. Now, Tarot Stack, if you didn't know, is an online tarot card distributor where they distribute tarot and oracle decks from independent artists and get them out into the hands of everyone, into the world. So I love Tarot Stack. I've been purchasing from them before I ever started working with them, and I love them. I've always enjoyed every deck I've ever received or purchased myself. They're always really high quality, and you get a lot of rare decks as well that you just can't find anywhere else. So if you're looking for a gift, maybe for the holidays for someone or something new for your collection, I love Tarot Stack, and I would love if you would check them out. All the decks that we use in today's reading are going to be from Tarot Stack. So if you see anything here that you like today, they will all be linked in the order that they appear. Now, let's go ahead and get into it. So I hope y'all don't mind, but excuse me, as the weather has been turning a little bit here, we're getting into the cooler months, which I love, at least right now. I probably won't love it like post-Christmas or post-Yuletide, but I feel like in the fall, we love a cozy, wet, autumn Pacific Northwest mood. But I hope y'all don't mind. I did make myself a cup of coffee, some half calf. Excuse me, because I've been feeling just a little bit sleepy today with all the clouds. I'm actually reading in front of a window today, which I don't usually do. So I hope you don't mind if we're sharing a little cup of coffee and you're reading, being a little cozy. It's also got pumpkin creamer in it. So good. All right, let's get into it. So we'll do your tarot, or not your tarot. We'll do your oracle cards in a second. I'm actually going to start with your tarot and we'll go from there. Okay, let's see what is currently going on for you. Ooh, Queen of Cups. Okay, love that. Queen of Cups. Ace of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. What the heck? Nine of Cups. Girl, what? What in the hay? This reading is so awesome. Okay. let's make it cute. Let's make it cute. Make it sassy, make it cute, okay? Girl, bestie, what the heck? What are you even doing here? Your career sounds like it's awesome, or at least what you're moving towards sounds really awesome. So Queen of Cups tells me that you are feeling emotionally really fulfilled in life right now, or that you're at least on your way and you need to be really trusting your intuition. The Ace of Pentacles tells me that there's a new financial opportunity entering your life right now, either by means of a new career, some new form of money making. There is something new coming into your life right now that is going to pay well, because King of Pentacles, this is not a little money, this is a lot of money, okay? It means that your finances are going to be increasing and you're going to be managing your money really responsibly. Nine of Cups, this is the card of whatever you put into motion will manifest, okay? The Nine of Cups is the card of pure manifestation. So whatever you are manifesting right now, you are going to get it. Like, let that sink in. You are going to get it, especially in terms of your career. So wherever you're setting your sights, you're going to get this. Nine of Cups states that you will get it. So let's go ahead and look at the astrology cards I have for you next. Okay, I'm going to have to probably move my coffee out of the way. Okay, we have last quarter. So the last quarter of the moon, this basically refers to the last chunk of the moon before it becomes new. So if we're in the last quarter of the moon, the last quarter is right before it becomes full, not new. Yes, because it would be the last quarter that needs to be filled in. The first quarter moon is right after it's new. The last quarter would be when it's almost full, which makes sense to me because looking at this image right here, to me, this isn't like a little tiny toenail, like a tiny nail of a nail of a crescent. I was like, toenail. I literally got that from my best friend. She calls the crescent moon a toenail moon. This to me looks like it's more getting into the full states, but last quarter, basically, it's right before a major event. No matter which way you looked at it, no matter if it was the last little chunk that needed to be filled in to make it full or the last to go away before a new moon, new and full moons are the culmination either of something new coming in or things falling away so that new can be brought in. So either way. But the last quarter, this means that like wherever you've been struggle busing, you're at the last and final stage. You're at the final boss, okay? Then we have the air. We have air. I'm going to have to open the book on this last and first quarter because you also got first quarter. Let me pull out the book here for a second and just double check. I know what each of them mean. I'm just getting them mixed up. And these books are so big. Okay. So first quarter I found, but I need last quarter. The last quarter. Now the moon has shed most of her light from the previous cycle, illuminated only as a crescent in the sky. This phase precedes the darkness of the new moon. Okay, so the last quarter is the one that comes right before the new moon. And the first quarter, which you also got, but I just haven't laid it down yet. The first quarter is the... When the moon is 90 degrees ahead of the sun in her cycle, she is half illuminated, and we call this the first quarter moon. So basically, you're in a bookend kind of situation right now is what I'm getting from this. You're kind of in an in-between stage of major things coming to a culmination and also major things ending, which really doesn't surprise me because the day that I'm filming this, we are having a partial lunar eclipse, it would be a lunar eclipse, a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces in tropical astrology. And I feel like this is kind of like it is major. It is a letting go. It is clarity coming to us right now, but you're still in an in-between. Okay. We're still in this like bookend chunk of time. And I feel like this part of your life, you have to learn how to enjoy the in-between, because most of your life isn't going to be a coming in and a letting go. Most of your life is going to be those in-between moments. And so bearing that in mind, you need to learn how to enjoy the in-between. I feel like this is a lesson that so many of us can use when we're all pushing towards big goals or wanting more or wanting change. We forget to enjoy every step on the ladder, every step on the staircase, and enjoying the journey is really where the sweet spot is. Hate to break it to you. Really, that's where the sweet spot in life is, because when you're enjoying the journey that you're climbing, like it makes the entire, like sometimes when you reach the top of the pyramid or whatever it is, the mountain, you get up to the top and you look down and you realize like, damn, I did that. And you get excited and you're thrilled for a little bit, but then usually it's on to the next thing. And in a way, you'll romanticize that journey and you'll go, dang, I wish I would have enjoyed that a little more. So I feel like that's kind of what you're being asked, is to like enjoy the right now, the in-between, whether you're employed or not, enjoy this in-between. And then with the air card coming out, this is your communication. So air symbolizes communication in astrology. It's Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. I know a lot of people go, but Aquarius is the water bear. Isn't that a water sign? No, they carry water, but they are an air sign. The water, there's only 3 of each, and the water signs are Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. So no, Aquarius, actually an air sign. I always love throwing that out because there are a lot of people that are still confused about that. But the air signs, they ultimately help us to communicate, to get our point across. Also being a little bit more cerebral and like thinking things through, because they also like rule the mind. So ultimately, astrology wise, what we're getting is you are in between 2 major points, and you need to be using your intellect and your voice. Pile number 3 also got something about their voice. If this is resonating, you might want to check it out as well. Then we have card number 6, which 6s in numerology, they are harmonious. They're also, 6 corresponds to your day-to-day routines. It also corresponds to having harmony. Like homes that have 6 as their home number are the most harmonious homes. Just in general, like 6 is known as being a number of harmony. So finding balance, finding harmony, this is what you're moving towards in your life right now. And your career is going to help facilitate this. You're not going to be doing this constant back and forth. You're going to be feeling like things are making sense, which is awesome. I love that. Okay, then we have some oracle cards for you. So we have set intentions, plant the seeds, and watch them grow, which was the main first card that we have for you. So I honestly think, especially with this card of pure manifestation that you received, Spirit is saying that you need to be really intentional with what you're working towards, because what you want will manifest. If a certain kind of career, if you want it to have certain stipulations about it, you need to be really, really clear about that and set intentions for what you want and don't settle for less. Then we have mystery. Secrets are hidden meanings, secrets and hidden meanings. So there is this, Spirit honestly is not going to tell us everything in your reading is what I'm hearing. This card is being thrown out because there are some things that you cannot turn to a tarot card reader for. You have to turn to yourself. And I know that's probably not why you came here, but it's the truth. I feel like especially if you're listening to this today, spend some time outside under the moon, because we do have this like eclipse going on, but also like the moon, when it is in its fullness, it has the ability to illuminate things in our life that we are unclear about. And you will gain so much clarity just giving it to the moon. Like, I have conversations with the moon all the time. Some of my best conversations come from just me and the moon chilling outside together. I'm not joking. Just let yourself give these problems up to that. And just try. Like, even if you're like, that sounds silly, I would never try that, that's dumb, like, what is the moon going to do for me? Just try to get that off your chest and just see what happens. I feel like there's something about like a mystery unfolding to you as well, and helping you to strengthen your faith and your spirituality. Then we have speak up, use your voice to express yourself. You need to listen to pile number 3. I feel like these 2 readings are really connected, and pile number 3 talked a lot about using your voice in your work. I honestly want to pull a few more tarot cards for you. Spirit, can you give us some practical advice for pile number 4? I just feel like this reading, like, my mind feels so scattered. And I feel like the energy of your reading feels really scattered. And I don't know if it's because a lot of you chose this pile, so we're going in a lot of directions, or if it's that some of y'all also are feeling very scattered yourself, and I'm just picking up on that. Practical advice for pile 4. 5 of Wands, which typically is the card of conflict. 4 of Pentacles. And the Star. Oh, Star is my favorite card in the deck. Just like in any deck, I love the Star. I feel that the practical advice is to not waste your time on petty arguments right now, and to let yourself be surprised. I feel like the universe has gifts that want to be bestowed upon you right now, but the 4 of Pentacles is a card that like talks about like greed and holding on too tightly. And when you hold on super, super tight, you're not able to see the goodness that comes your way. The universe has such blessings that are being pushed in your direction right now. And in order to be open to them, you're going to have to let go a little bit. And I know it's scary, but ultimately you need to let the mysteries unfold and let yourself be surprised. Let yourself be surprised by the goodness that's coming your way. Set intention for what you want and then let go. Don't watch a bunch of tarot card readers because you're nervous and you just want answers. Don't manic manifest where you're just like, oh no, is my vision board coming true? Let me check every day. Like, some people can look at their vision boards every day and that works for them. Some people, it makes them feel like it's not coming and it stresses them out. So I feel like there's something about not letting yourself get super caught up in overdoing it and just letting yourself be surprised right now, especially in terms of your career. There are good things coming your way. There is financial stability coming your way. What you desire is on its way to you, but you are going to be required to use your voice a little bit to get it, and just let yourself be surprised. All right, let's go ahead and get into your prompt. I would encourage you to take your phone note out, like a phone note, and type, or use a journal if you have one nearby. What does happiness mean to me? That's what you got. Come on. Don't make me be a beauty guru right now. There we go. What does happiness mean to me? If you feel brave enough, share in the comments. I would love to hear it. Happiness to me, I hate to say it because it's so cliche, but like, happiness to me is a slow morning. is the ability to wake up and choose what you want to do with your time. And also, like, happiness to me is conversation. I am somebody that loves to converse so much. I'm a yapper. I'm one of those girlies, okay? I was born to yap. And I love conversation and connection. And happiness to me is like getting to have that. Like, my peak happiness is having like friends or family over for dinner. That is my peak happiness, is having friends or family over for dinner and then like playing a video game or a board game afterwards and just talking over like drinks. It doesn't have to be alcohol either. Like, mocktails are fine, just having that togetherness and having deep introspective conversations with people. That is pure happiness to me. And doing it over a meal or over a game or over working on your own businesses, like whatever it is, that is happiness to me. And happiness to me, I also think it's a choice. It's something that we have to choose. And it is a hard choice to make sometimes when you're not feeling it. That's what I would say about happiness. I would love to hear what y'all have to say. And thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Tarot Stack, for sponsoring today's video. If you would like to get behind the scenes content from me, be sure to check out my Patreon for vlogs and extra pick of cards. I would love to have you there, especially if you want to see like day in the life of a tarot card reader that works for themselves. I would love to share those videos with you. So check out my Patreon. If you would like to book me for a private career reading, for a birth chart, and so much more on my website, KhloeTaylor.com, those are available for you. I just put out a restock when this video is going up. So if you'd like to book a private reading, please do so on my website. I also have my courses available to you, Authentically Aligned and Vision Board to Destiny. Both of them will help you get to the bottom of what it is that you actually want and working towards it. And I would love to have you as a student. And lastly, be sure to follow me on socials everywhere. I'm at Kloee Taylor on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Twitter, all the places. I'm at Kloee Taylor. So be sure to check everything out down below. And I will talk to you in the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. Bye.